What are your guys' thoughts on this gas price? I guess I wonder whether the oil companies aren't behind this, and they're just trying to run the ethanol business into the ground so they can buy them for a dime on the dollar. You know,
makes you wonder.
And once they get them bought, then all of a sudden everything's going to go back up, and they're going to have control over it again. But
what do you think as far as managing that risk? Are you guys thinking about buying? Like personally, I've been taking advantage of these low prices, and I've been booking product and taking delivery. I got my tanks full of cheaper product. What's your risk management policy?
Well, in the past, we've always just used the rack average, and we talked at the engineers conference. They had a guy out of Des Moines talking about some of the things they were looking at doing. And even though they've always used rack average in the past too, with plus a bid margin, they were looking at some of those other options. Whether it's I can't remember what he called it, but one of them, he put so much down and it limits your upside, but it allows you to.
They're just buying an option.
Yeah. But they do that through their supplier somehow, or at least they were looking at that option. And, the other thing is, if you got the storage, yeah, you buy it.
But then the other, that's okay for a short length of time, but that does, diesel fuel does settle out, and I think with whether it's gasoline or diesel, the paper option would be a better choice to manage your risk. Most of us don't have, in your instance, in the counties don't have storage to handle that, and then you have to consider deterioration of the fuel. But I think the paper option of getting a position as far as a contract and not having to take delivery is certainly a viable way to do it, because we can't take that much delivery, and then you don't worry about condition. That just protects your position. I think you really ought to look into.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth your while to try and tie up some cheap fuel.
You think the diesel fuel price is going to go down much more, or not? You think?
I think after the first, personally, I think there'll be a break after the first of the year. So
break going up.
I think you got 2 or 3 weeks to
it's going to go the other way.
Contracts.
Do you? The idea of using the paper part of that is you lose your investment, which is a fraction. And it's no different than a grain option, in that it's really just an insurance policy, and you're not physically taking delivery. If it goes up a great deal, you use your paper to offset your actual cash purchase after a while. But I think you really need to look into it.
Again, they talked about it at our meeting last week, and I hadn't talked to Mike yet about discussing it. But
what's our capacity?
I guess I couldn't even tell you that for sure. I think the diesel tank in SAC, I think is 2,000 gallons. It's either 2 or 2,500, I think.
Well, he's got flow considerations, light versus heavy fuel.
Oh, sure. And that's why the option idea, I think, is a much better. It's much
I think
more
I'd get on it if you can't get any cooperation from suppliers or supplier. I don't know. They don't want to work with you, then Blackbrick's right.
Yeah, I think the first thing we'll look at is check with the suppliers and see what kind of program.
Because there's like from our personal experience, like the propane, you can do so much down, which guarantees you, maybe they do that same thing in the diesel fuel category, I don't know.
I know they had them at one time, I'm not sure what they've got available. You know, a couple of years ago, I know you could buy that so much down and it protected you on the up,
Yeah.
but you got, went down too.
There's quite a bit of, you know, there's some disparity between the prices. Some guys are, you know, not coming down like other guys are. Others are. Propane's the same way. You know, some of these guys, you know, bought a lot of expensive propane and
They've got it contracted, so they can't.
yeah, you know.
But even you know, I think you're using the right path, and that you discuss that with your supplier first, and then if they're not able to help you with that, then you have other options.
Yeah. And I don't know how far, whether they've got a limit on how far out they'll go, you know.
I can't help you out there.